Welcome back. We're here. It's IESF. Why you're joining us again? Yeah, you on the other side of the screen over there. But yeah, we are coming back for the final matchup of the Central Asian qualifiers, as we have already got 6 teams ready to go, and that includes the host nation of China. That's going to be at the Chengdu Asian Finals here for IESF. But Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Australia, Malaysia, and the Philippines, they're all in. They're all good to go. They have made it. And we've got this one matchup ready for you. And it's on your screen. It's Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan winning and qualifying. And we had that quick little interview with Seneko, and it feels like he's in good spirits. I think he's ready for this Kyrgyzstan team.
I think he's ready to come in and, maybe pull up an upset, a little bit of an upset, right? We don't necessarily know what roster Kyrgyzstan will be fielding today. And the stakes are not as high as they were in the previous series, right? That was kind of contending for the final slot. This is more for seeding, but I think seeding is relatively important. I'm going to give you a little bit of a fun fact, Peacock. Kyrgyzstan last year, they did get 3rd place overall in the IESF World Esports Championship Grand Finals, but it wasn't that easy for them to qualify because they made it to the LAN Asian qualifiers where they came in 5th. This year at the Asian qualifier, there's only 4 slots. So if they have a poor seeding, they lose an early game and they don't show up in the most important play day, what I assume will be a lower bracket, they could come out in the 5th place again and this time not make it to Riyadh in November. So we often overlook seeding matches, but I think there's a lot to consider in this one.
Yeah, for sure. I do think that their run in the Asian qualifiers last year was a little bit more difficult because I was there with Black and they were in a group with the Philippines and Mongolia, which the Philippines were a full stack last year. I would, in my opinion, say a better stack last year. And then Mongolia was IHC, who ends up, winning the entire IESF. So that group, in retrospect, especially, was a very strong group that they were going to get 3rd in. They maybe were skirting by with a 2nd, but that was just a tough lineup for them to try and get a victory from. And they came in 3rd in their group, and they ended up taking the 2-0 over Australia, which was enough. It might be tougher with the less slots coming into the next one, but I'm definitely interested to see it. It'll be a fun time with both these rosters. And
we've already seen some upsets as we take a look at the rosters. Like we got Kyrgyzstan with some of their players, and I'm going to come back to this because we don't necessarily know who they're going to field today. This is the official roster with Zayat and Kami, but yesterday both of the players were replaced, and I believe we had Sunset, which really did a great job of stepping into the shoes of Zayat. Like I said, by far the most impressive player I've seen in the Central Asian region this week. And I think Alan was replacing Kami, and they did a bit of a swap-a-rooney with roles. I think he played on the off lane, and then their normal off laner went safe lane, which Kami plays safe. Anyway, there was a lot of changes there. Kyrgyzstan still won. They're still qualified. So we're going to see what they're fielding today. But Uzbekistan, same roster. We just saw them play a minute ago. Yes, Kyrgyzstan came in 3rd place overall, but there's been already a few upsets happening. And you know this better, because you casted Myanmar, the silver medalist with the identical 4 players that won last year in Yash, Romania, came in 3rd, and they're not even going to make it to Chengdu.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a disappointment there to not see Myanmar, but it was definitely a tough little qualifier for them with the Philippines, with Malaysia. It's not easy. It's not fun when there's only 2 slots. I'll tell you that much. It is really rough to have to deal with, and ultimately you come up a little bit short, but hopefully not too brokenhearted about it, because I think they played okay. I think that there's a lot more to play for them in terms of representing their country. There are going to be more chances. This isn't the last time this event's ever going to happen.
It's also quite challenging point. Like this week is a challenging point, B-Cobb, right? Because 736 came about 6 weeks ago? Maybe 7 weeks. Let's say under 2 months ago, right? And you're getting accustomed to the patch. We had A and B. Okay, you're changing it. But then 736C came in, I think, 5 days ago, 6 days. That is 3 days to prepare on a new meta where some of the big hitters really got nerfed, right? I have yet to see a Storm Spirit today. Well, I only casted a game. Did you have any Storm Spirits in the SEA region? No. Storm Spirit was an S tier pick just 5 days ago, but now teams are not really running it as much. Weaver, still really, really good. We had it banned last game, but still not as much of a priority even yesterday compared to what it was last week. So if that's what you've been practicing for, because you knew, oh yeah, we have IESF qualifiers coming at the end of the month, let us run the patch, and then Valve drops it in because there's a break in the tier 1 competitive scene, you could get punished if you're maybe not as versatile, or maybe if you are more of a team than the other teams that are, like we heard Soneko came, oh yeah, I had an official game, I joined the boys 20 minutes ago. They might have an advantage over you because they don't have the strats that they practiced with. They can just run what feels comfortable for them.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's definitely going back to comfort, but there's definitely opportunities where they can just kind of fall back on what they know. Well, it, to me, seems like this is going to be a draft where we see maybe where they're going to get some of that testing, that experimentation. It wouldn't be surprising. And Soneko talked about how he didn't exactly have time to prepare. He was playing officials. He's playing with a team called Team T right now at the same time, who are playing in the Western European qualifiers for Elite League. So he's getting some pretty decent looks in terms of what's working at the moment, which is interesting because his team is playing right now.
Is Soneko on the server, ladies and gentlemen? Let's find out. Maybe they're playing with a standing because they're already qualified. This would be a probability, and I think they are. I think they're playing with a standing.
No, Rainy
is Soneko. Rainy is Soneko.
Yes.
Okay.
They're playing in Team T is playing with a stand-in in the Western European qualifiers. I believe they're playing with Kaori.
I love that. I'll be honest, I love this. I mean, you saw the smile on his face when I asked him about how does he feel to represent his nation. His face fully brightened up. And this is just testament to how important playing for your national team is for someone like Soneko, who has achieved so many things in his career thus far. Yes, maybe he has yet to win a TI, but he has had those successes at the big tier 1 events. And right now he's at a point in his career where he realizes, you know what? I've done it with my club teams, quote unquote. Let me do it for my home country. And I can't fault that. I think this is exceptional to see. And similarly, well, actually, maybe not similarly, let's find out if Kyrgyzstan has the same luxury, if Zayat is on today or not.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting. I don't think Kyrgyzstan have Zayats and Kami, because I believe these in-game names are the same ones that were there yesterday.
Okay.
So, all the same, at least for so far. Okay.
The draft is underway, and we're not seeing it yet on stream, so I'm not going to spoil it for you. Okay, I'm spoiling it for you because it's right here. It's the SF, it's the Weaver. Okay, we're going back to 736B, and this is what we were just breaking down before we jumped in. The fact that some of these teams might have prepared with these heroes, and I'm glad to see them, bring out the big guns. Beastmaster first banned from Kyrgyzstan. They realized how strong this hero has been today, so they don't want to let it through. They want to fight with everything they got for that first place in this region.
Yeah, Elder Titan is definitely one that's up and coming for me. And then this Weaver has felt strong before. Had a couple of changes. I mean, Weaver, maybe not the same as it once was, but still annoying. The slow duration on Skitter Step gets changed. It gets lowered. The Geminate attack damage goes down from, being 5, 25, 40, 55, 70 to 0, 20, 35, 50, 65. So down 5 at all levels. And then the mana cost of Shikuchi goes up by 5. So it's not terrible nerfs. You're not getting the benefits of Geminate attack at level 0, that innate ability. And then it just, maybe you're not doing as much damage all the time, but you still feel pretty strong as Weaver, in my opinion.
I think he's still a great hero. I still, maybe again, not S plus tier as he was before, but A plus or S. I would still classify him as that. And I'm gonna say something controversial, B-Cup, but let me know your thoughts on this. I think Hive Mind, his other facet, the one that lets the Swarm steal XP, is not great, but I think it's pretty good. I am actually very keen to see who's going to be the first tier 1 player to get it in a competitive match. Maybe in the coming tournaments or maybe closer to TI if they think like the facet deserves a bit of a buff. Because I think it's no joke, especially if you're playing support Weaver, which is something that we every now and then see. It has a place in the meta. That's how I feel about that one.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean, facets right now to me kind of feel like there's a good one, bad one. And maybe that experience one isn't exactly bad, but it's not better than Skitter Step. Like I would like to see somebody do it, but it's a very tough thing. I think facets being in the game make things kind of tough in terms of balancing, for sure. Like I'm a little worried about facet balancing going on in the future, because you do kind of clearly have that for a lot of players or a lot of heroes, the good and bad. But then do you overtune the bad one and then you nerf the good one, or do you try to balance them to make them more applicable in both ends, or do you change them?
Change them completely.
Yeah, it's tough. Like patches are only going to take more time, and I know nobody wants to hear that because they love when patches come out, but they're only going to take more time because there's so many more aspects into the game that they need to check. It used to be you just had to change the skills, but then you had to change the talents, and you thought, oh, okay, but now you got to change the shards, and you've got to change the Ags because everybody got an Ags. I don't know if you remember, but Ags upgrades weren't a thing for everybody. Like it wasn't in every hero had it, but now it's you gotta tune the Ags, you gotta tune the shard, you gotta tune the abilities, you gotta tune the facets, you gotta tune the
what about the innate? The innate?
Yeah, the innate abilities and just the stats in general.
Yeah, it's and the items. I mean, don't even get me started on Eternal Shroud, man.
Oh God, dude, it's rough out there, and I praise everybody who works on this game. Not when I'm losing a lot, but I praise everybody who works hard on this game, because they obviously know I don't mean it when I get 3 losses in a row and I'm like, I hate this game. But, I do appreciate how much work goes into this game, and I appreciate how much work goes into this game from the pros as well.
Absolutely.
They have to go over all those skills and all those facets and all those changes, and they have to find what works. And, that's why Seneko is one of those guys that was very sought after in the CIS region, was because he was a good captain. He was a very, very smart player, and he still is. So, he has drafts like this where you got Puck, Bat Rider, to pull him out of the Dream Coil and hold him there potentially to have the Weaver do damage, or, well, you've got Gyro in the safe lane, and this looks like it's more so a support Weaver, but who knows? It could be a support Gyro as well.
Gyro.
Like the flex is there.
It could be a support Bat.
Yeah.
I mean, I assume it's a support Bat, right? I think this is this a certain support Bat? I don't want to see that.
I would say I think it's the only thing that's certain is it's a support Bat.
I mean, Puck mid is also certain, right? We're not going to see an offlane Puck. We got 2 certainties on the draft from Uzbekistan this far. As they will have to reveal what they are gonna, complete their draft with in the next 24 seconds. And Kyrgyzstan has 2 full minutes. Excuse me, IO Gyro, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, here we go. Wait. So they don't really have like.
It's a 5 Bat
stuns.
And then a 4 Weaver. And this Chrono kind of makes things tough, but you gotta get Gyro IO. That's your go-to target, and I think it's easy to just focus the 2 of them. The other 3 heroes, especially if this Weaver's a support, doesn't matter.
Could you run IO Weaver with Weaver carry? Is that a thing? Does IO keep up in the speed with the Shikuchi?
Not as easily, but I mean, it's still the same game plan, right? If you go Weaver IO or Gyro IO, it's Faceless Void, just Chronos. You have a Requiem on the side, and you've got a very early run at you kind of lineup from Kyrgyzstan. I think Natural Order is going to feel very strong. I think the Guardian, the Corrosive Haze is going to feel really good with Guardian Sprint. I could say that and save myself there. But there's a lot of minus armor. There's a good amount of Natural Order that's going to make this very difficult for this side of Uzbekistan. I don't know how safe they should truly feel. This is definitely problematic.
It's also the presence of the Dark Lord that's going to come in later on, because they have so many ways of reducing, everything from Uzbekistan, from armor to resistance at any capacity, that these heroes are going to melt, and they don't even have like a staple tanky offlaner, right? I believe they're going to head for this Batrider offlane as I'm taking Kyrgyzstan. I know last game I said Uzbekistan won the draft like 75%, 80%. I think Kyrgyzstan won this 95% to 5. This is a huge outdraft, if you ask me personally. They've got classic combo wombo if needed. If they don't, use their spells correctly, like you said, only the Natural Order and presence of the Dark Lord. The damage is going to come in from the right clicks up. From Sunset as well on the Hoodwink. Like I said yesterday, he completely impressed me on his heroes. So Uzbekistan, they have a tough mountain to climb, but maybe they're going to surprise us with this last pick IO and this Batrider core.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a possibility that they can, but I kind of don't know what this Weaver in the 5 position does. They actually bumped it down even further. So
it doesn't do anything.
Yeah. You could chill on reading my mind. It doesn't do anything. I agree.
Good luck.
I worry, but I do wonder if like Seneko has an idea, because to me, it feels like if you're going Weaver in the 5, you're not going into that pseudo core, and you have to get like Urn, right? And get Vessel.
See, if he plays it as a 4 and he gets Vessel Ags at minute 26, right? That's good. But doing that off of position 5, well, you have an IO who's going to be buddy up with your mid laner. That means you have to join up with Batrider. And my biggest problem with Uzbekistan's draft, like I said, they don't really have lock. Like, what is it? Magic Missile and Lasso? Those are... Magic Missile is not reliable. And if you're playing versus a team like Kyrgyzstan, the Shadow Fiend Hoodwink are just going to kill it. And Lasso has a pretty long cooldown compared to, 2013. So... they're just going to run at you. This Shadow Fiend will jump on top of you. Slaughter will pair up with him. It's going to be a rough mid-game from Uzbekistan, and that is if they can survive the laning phase.
Yeah. The laning phase, I mean, it's not aggressive immediately from Kyrgyzstan, but it's aggressive at like level 4. It gets... exponentially more aggressive as well from level 3 to 6. Because once you've got Corrosive Haze, it's go time.
Do you think they're cooking with this lane? Because Speedy and Rasuka seems to know what they want to do. They forced the Faceless Void to go back to base with the right clicks coming in. I mean, is this a viable lane? I know throughout the history of Dota, because we've had both Batrider and IO constantly get nerfed because they've been always making their way back into the meta when the TI rolls around. And Uzbekistan has both of them. But I don't know how many times I've seen them paired up together.
I don't know if it's cooking. It might be a little overcooked. They had Faceless Void by himself. And I think that's where they really found that benefit. But what Elder Titan's idea is here is he's going to Astral Spirit, get some extra damage, and make sure he opens up the lane for this Faceless Void. Because he just needs a couple of levels to really feel pretty set. You know, if you're trying to get Sticky Napalm out, but you get hit with time dilation, you're not going to have a good time. But for right now, he just has Time Walk. So as the levels get there, I think the more sustained this Radiant side gets.
Did you see that punch? That was about 220 damage from Max coming in, and he didn't even send the Astral Step through the Twin Gate yet, which is what we see a lot of safe lane Elder Titans do, using it to get as many targets under as possible. And the damage is coming in from Batrider, forcing out the Time Walk early. Early. He was below half HP. What about mid? Puck, Shadow Fiend. I would say traditionally in the history, Shadow Fiend should have the slight upper hand, maybe even kill potential. But these days, I feel Puck holds up to himself. Maybe will fall slightly behind in last hits, but I don't think he should die unless he gets rotated on.
It's definitely can be skill based for sure.
Yeah.
You know, where it's not just naturally farmy. You get hit by a couple raises and all of a sudden life is a little bit difficult. If you get caught without an illusory orb, you're using a farm up, you know? Like for those first couple waves, sometimes we see Pucks just kind of use the illusory orb forward in the creeps. Ooh.
Oh my god.
God, Seneko. Just giving up first blood there. Gave up first blood, but again, it's another one of those situations where the core gets the better of it because they get solo experience outside.
Yeah, Soneko knew there was a sentry there because they deworded his own sentry that was blocking the camp. So in the end, maybe it was the trade, like you said, favoring the gyrocopter, and Soneko will now come back mid. He will refill the bottle of the puck, which is going to help his team even more. And this puck is keeping up in last hit with Shadowfiend, who's also going to use the raises in the jungle. So quite impressive thus far from none other than Isocrat, who changed it up completely from the Tiny of last game. Hopefully he's gonna, because, you know, I talked about his Tiny. He had a great laning phase, but then slowed down in the mid game because of the build. I want to see him actually converting this good laning phase potentially later on today. Well, today in this match.
Bot lane, just some damage, but top. It's kind of tough for Slardar.
Yeah, gyro.
Not
gyro
that easy of
weaver.
a lane.
Double range is never fun when you're a melee core. And yes, Hoodwink is good at harassing, but Hoodwink is also one of the heroes that doesn't want to be in the face of the gyrocopter, right?
Oy, God.
Wow.
That is some quick damage.
The RNG really helped him because the third acorn shot, which bounced off of the tree, went for the carry target. Sorry, the hero target, which is normally not. It doesn't prioritize it. It's just a bit of luck there. But that was, like you said, a lot of damage. And think about it. This is a level 3 Hoodwink with no corrosive haze from the Slardar yet, of course.
Yeah, so that's the end goal, right? For the Slardar. It's not giving up anything in terms of dying. If you die once, it's okay. Mm-hmm. But if you can get yourself to the point where you get to level 6 and you have that corrosive haze, first of all, you're going to be able to see this Weaver. And second, you're going to kill him very quickly because you'll have Bushwhack, Acorn Shot, and Acorn Shot already does a bunch of damage.
He also went for the facet that we noticed allows the Acorn to bounce off tree. So he will not have the bonus extra range that the Scurry facet usually gives, but there's a bit of pressure bottom onto Max.
Yeah, Max is burning pretty low, but he'll be fine. 3 stacks of the sticky napalm. Not dead just yet. Doesn't really have anything in terms of regen. He actually has negative regen in terms of having a blood grenade. And Sunset's going to chase this gyro, wanting to at least bounce it off the tree and gets it.
My goodness.
Sunset is dominating this game, but the funny thing is, the farm's going well enough where those 3 kills, they're still down in net worth.
He's going to escape here, I think. Soneko can't get that.
He may not. Uh-oh. All they need is a bash out of this as well, and then they get this kill. They'll Shikuchi in turn, though. And now, trying to get this Lotus, the Slithering Crush is there, and they get the kill finally on a Soneko. And that puts this Slardar at level 5, who's going to walk all the way back to base, and truth, he might be the one who picks up the Wisdom Rune.
I think he kind of needs to. Although he has actually managed to catch up in last hits, he was very far behind the gyro, now only 3 behind him, surprisingly. getting back into that. But Seneko did so much in that fight, not just getting a kill back, but also stealing the Lotus before he dies. Massive victory as we have smoke. They want to go contest the Wisdom Rune together.
Top tower is under attack.
We've seen this a couple times from mids. They move over, they try to contest the Wisdom Rune, they get the kill onto the Wisdom Rune as well. They're going to need a TP to come out. And Dream Coil, 3 heroes here. This is a problem. 4 heroes now showing up, but they do have some help from this Shadow Fiend. And if they don't get the kill on the Slardar, boy, it was going to feel pretty bad. But now, if you're this Puck, do you commit to just running away in that illusory orb? And the answer so far is no, and now you just die for it. So you've tried to take this Wisdom Rune, and you might lose all 4 heroes.
What
oh my
a
God,
disastrous play.
Kyrgyzstan. Bunch of ballers over there. All right.
And that's the problem. You don't have any stunts. Like, there was no stun flying in at that point. Level 6 on the Batrider hit it just now. He wasn't even going to rotate. A single point in Magic Missile, insignificant essentially. And the Slithering Crush, we saw the Bushwhack, and even the Acorn Shot, not stunning, but giving that extra slow that's needed to allow for the right clicks and the raises to connect. And Kyrgyzstan does what they do best. They continue to use their spells very nicely to, punish what was a very overzealous attempt from the Dire side.
Yeah, and it's not even boosting them that high up. I thought their net worth would be higher in doing something like that and having that lead.
Yeah.
But it does put SF at the top. That's what you really care for. And now you just need to get this Slardar, who's a couple creeps away from getting that level 6. And then I truly do think you're off to the races.
What is this Batrider build-up? Power treads on the Bat into Null Talisman. He has another Circlet, which I assume might be a Wraith Band. I don't... Okay.
Swarm. Call down, Slithering Crush, but they should be able to get this kill. They stop that Bushwhack from happening. They're going to look for another TP over, but SF will stop it. And instead, the chase is on from Sunset to try and get this kill on a Seneko. As the Acorn Shot bounces. Oh, the sleep misses, but the Bushwhack lands, and there's still a kill despite the tether.
Sunset is playing some very beautiful Dota. I told you, he has been the most impressive support, if not the entire player of this qualifier for me, and he's going for more right now.
Oh, no. All the sleep, but standing in the Rocket Barrage is a bit of a problem. Sharpshooter snaps it, but still they'll get the kill onto the Gyro. That's what they wanted. They've got the raises. You don't have an illusory orb to go to. But now it's finally available again. Again, do you want to juke off of your own IO? You're just giving them up to die.
So we have support for Gyro and IO. The position 1 falling from the Dire side. Uzbekistan is really not managing to link up with each other the way they wanted to this early on. And now minute 10 rune, who's going to have the upper hand? It's going to be Aristocrat picking up the shield rune. A small victory for the Puck. But did you see that Hoodwink? Hoodwink is out leveling the Gyrocopter by a full level at minute 10.
Chrono bottom. Sharpshooter eaten by the IO. I am seeing that. And what I will tell you here, though, is that they get this IO kill, but if Void dies, this feels pretty awful. Bushwhack connects, though, and no aggressive time walk. It was on cooldown. The Acorn Shots and the right click starting to do some damage here from Sunset, who feels like the carry. I don't know how this has been an open lane here for the Faceless Void, but Void is super poor.
Okay, is gonna get some assist goal from that coil.
He needs to pop the wand. Oy. And Void's gonna die, staying at the bottom of the net worth in terms of cores. Sharpshooter misses. There's another kill, but they did also kill the Gyro. So I want to say that this is going well for Kyrgyzstan, but their Void is poor. Very poor.
Wait a minute, his what? It's 3.5k net worth? What has he been hitting? Katie not having a game. I didn't I understood he might be low, but he's so far behind, not just behind the Batrider, but he's a position 4 Void. Does he at least have the time zone scaled up? Because I mean, I can see that happening. No, he's got a chrono. Okay.
Yeah, but this is rough, and he's going Mask of Madness. So, I mean, I don't know.
That's madness in itself. As I guess he's a walking chrono, right? He's just a setup for the Requiem and for the Earth Splitter at this point, and probably for the next 15 minutes, unless he can get a couple of kills in a team fight, right? He's not going to bring any right-click damage to the table. And also, Void, when he doesn't have the Chronosphere, it's quite hard for him to catch the Bat, the Puck, the Weaver, even the IO, right? And if you do go for the Gyrocopter, he should be protected by the aforementioned heroes.
Yeah, definitely. It's so shocking that he's so far behind.
This Batrider IO lane really paid off, apparently.
But the IO wasn't even there for the majority of it, so it's just the Batrider that's been messing with him.
And the ET was doing a lot of good job at right-clicking Resuk to zone him out, so... I don't know, does he have something on the courier that got killed? Maybe it's his courier dead, that's why his network is so low. He denied like a javelin or something?
No, I mean, even on the courier, it would still show your net worth. And
that's what I'm saying.
I mean,
he denied his own javelin.
I would hope not. I don't.
It's really strange. Because he's got the last hits, right? Like, it's not like he didn't hit the creeps. He's... Okay, has less last hits than the Batrider, but he's up there with the Slaughter in the department, but still 1,000 gold behind him. Very, very confusing look for him, as we see the Gyro already getting paired up with the Wisp. Escape will use the Flak Cannon to farm his own triangle. And what is the timing that Kyrgyzstan is waiting for? Because it's obviously not the Void, right? And Zodiac is going for the Kaya Yasha first, not the Blink or the Yules. He really wants to have the bigger item out of the trio that he needs.
I mean, I'm trying to think what they're waiting for in terms of timings for both teams, because they're starting to act. What's crazy is it's 14-7. It's a 2,000 net worth lead for the Dire.
Yeah.
I mean, Gyro just farms like that. That's Gyro for you.
He's got a Crystallis building into the Aghanims. Puck has a coil. I mean, that is the timing for Uzbekistan. They want to get the blink on the Puck, right? And then use the coil.
Have Ags on Gyro.
Is it done already?
No. I'm saying you want Ags on Gyro and you want the point.
Yeah, but for Kyrgyzstan, your timing should have been the Slaughter Blink, which you have, but you're not using it, and the Yules on the Shadow Fiend, who you're also not building first. You're gonna go Blink after Kaya Yasha. So they're taking a tower. Okay, they're not getting contested because, like we said, Uzbekistan needs a few more pieces. But it really feels like they are not... You're looking 14-7, right? For the Dota viewers that are looking at the score, they're gonna ask you, Wax and Big Up, what are you talking about? They're doubling the kills. Well, Dota's not always about the kills.
Yeah, but I think that somehow your Slardar and your Void, who, especially your Slardar, who I thought had an okay start, should have a little bit more gold.
Same.
But they're both struggling, and the only one who's gotten a good amount of farm is the one who cleaned up a bunch of those kills, which was that Shadow Fiend. Dream Coil, thinking about the Requiem, but the Waning Rift, they've got the Silence. Now they just want to get this kill. Chrono's going to be on the mark on a 2, but it's not going to matter. Zodiac still dies, but he gets 2 with that Death Requiem, which is fine, but you lose the Void. This isn't worth it for him. Void shows up, you lose 3, you get both supports, but you lose your cores.
There was no Blink on the Puck, there was no Aghanims on the Gyro, and they still took that fight and won it because there's nothing on the side of Kyrgyzstan. And losing 3, including your position 2 and 1, it's completely disastrous. Now you're not gonna have your big ultimates, and Uzbekistan's items are flying in now. The Puck has the Blink now, and the Gyro is about 1,000 gold away from his Aghanims after he completes this another Ancient stack. It's looking like it's slipping out of their hand. Despite what Dota Plus believes, it gives Kyrgyzstan a 64% chance, which is very odd.
Hoodwink trying to do a little bit too much there.
Should be fine.
Yeah, I believe the odds are maybe even better. They killed Sunset, and they're probably going to kill this Elder Titan if they're willing to go past this Shadow Fiend. But now Sardar finally shows up, and I think he was trying to blink. He threw Slither Crush out there, and he walked into the Firefly, and now they've got a 3-man Dream Coil. Slither Crush is not going to be good enough, and they lose 4 heroes, now maybe a 5th. Why is the Void here?
Katie, what are you up to?
Well, what does Void accomplish by being here? Seneco's starting to talk.
Some things were just not meant to be. Okay, I mean, that maybe is an answer to our question, because the Faceless Void was definitely not meant to be there. Oh, goodness me. As predicted, right? You lost the fight without their big items. Now they have the items. You walk into them and you lose again because you have no ultimates. So, Bcop, let me repeat what I said before that engagement. No, Dota Plus was saying that Kyrgyzstan was up 64%.
Yeah, I don't know about that, Dota Plus. You need to figure your shit out.
I don't know what game they're watching, but definitely not this one where Escape now has the full ags, gonna start building towards the BKB. And I'm gonna be honest, BKB is obviously the serious build up, and that's the one he should get first. But I feel like he's so unkillable with Yayo by his side that I think a Satanic would be equally good if he gets the farm.
So Seneco, by the way, I was translating it in my phone.
Okay.
He said, "You will play?" ?
Oh, spicy. I like that.
I like it. I'm always here for the banter, as long as it's in good fun. I think that's fine.
I mean, he's probably heard us, right? Like, we keep on hyping up Kyrgyzstan. Me and Black did it yesterday. We've done it together today. We're like, oh yeah, they're the best team, blah, 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 blah. And Soneko was like, oh, they're going to beat us. We're seed number 2. Okay, let us have them.
All right. He's going to try and leave. Do they know where he is? No.
Double Dyers can use 1 2 further to the east, 1 further to the west, doesn't connect with the Slardar, but it doesn't matter, you don't kill him because you're going for the bigger target, which is going to be the Aegis pre-minute 20. And I love this peacock. You do it pre-minute 20 where it's nighttime. That means the second Roshan will most probably also be up top, and that's going to grant you an Aegis and cheese. So Uzbekistan is playing this very, very calculated.
It's tight though because it's it's 8 minutes from this point, so you're going to be at 27. And then if it's plus 2.5 minutes, the timing can be tight on getting it top. But it's most likely going to be back up top. What is actually really good about this too is they take this Aegis, and if they time it right, they should be able to push top, take this tier 2 tower, move over to the Tormentor, take that, back up at 21 minutes, get that Wisdom Rune, and get everything out of the top side of the map at this point, which is a big timing for a lot of teams. But we'll see if they do that.
Look at Zodiac. He's getting a VKB. And not going for a full casting build. Yeah, it would be way too late. If he goes Yules first, and then his BKB timing might not even happen because they might lose the game at that point. Even now, I feel like it's going to take himself at least another 4 minutes to have it.
Sarda's in trouble. This is a Shivas from the Batrider. I mean, it hit the Void, but Void, are you going to get anything out of this? You're still trying to kill a Weaver.
Where's the damage?
They can't even do it. Oh my God. They lose 4. Nobody, not anything dies on Uzbekistan. That is insane, dude. You went with that Chrono. You couldn't even kill the 5-position Weaver.
They used everything. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Requiem of Soul came in pitch perfect at the end of Chrono. I think the Earth Splitter didn't really do as much work as I assumed it would. And that might be also because Natural Order is only 2 points in it at this point. Then let's look at a recap for Bcop. Now, Chrono was good. The Slardar had a good bait. The Corrosive Hazel was on top of the Batrider. So going for the Weaver is maybe a bit of a mistake. And look at the turnaround here. The damage, too much. And that's what happened. The Earth Splitter came in late to try to stop the relocate, but if you use it on top of the Chrono, you might allow Katie to get at least 1 kill there.
Yeah, that's true. And you want to know what's the craziest part about this? Is that the Dire did get the tier 2 top. They still fought over bottom, and they came back before 21 minutes to get the Wisdom Rune and the Tormentor with the same timing.
That is the power
efficiency.
of the IO relocate. At its finest.
No, they didn't even relocate. They moved through mid. They walked to the tier 2 and got it.
No, I mean, they relocated out.
Yeah. To fight bottom. Yeah. You're right.
But
I got too excited.
Also, the Shiva's Guard. Okay, please, ladies and gentlemen, if you watch this game and you're coming in my pubs, do not run Batrider threads into Shiva's offlane. It's unbelievable. Threads Shiva's Guard and pre-minute 21. It's incredible. He's now going to go back for the Blink Dagger. Risuk is having the performance of a lifetime on a hero that hasn't been played on offlane like this in 10 years. I don't know.
Ooh. Oh boy. Oh boy. And back to the triangle now. Yep. Easy times.
This puck skipping up in the farm department with the gyro, that is incredible in itself. He has a bottle up rune, has a completed Yule Scepter, and is not that far off from having a full Parasma. It's looking worse and worse for Kyrgyzstan, as two of their cores have been impactless. Despite now having an Orchid on the Slardar, who are you going to use it to kill? The puck can dispel it, Io can save the gyro, maybe the Weaver?
I don't know if the Weaver's doing anything. If in terms of, being more than just the Solar Crest guy at the moment and the Vision guy.
Yeah.
That's all you need him to be. He's tanky enough with that Solar Crest to survive of Chrono in full occupation of Face's Void on his face.
He's got a gem as well. Okay, Bushwhack top on top of the Atos, getting the gyro below half HP, has the Aegis.
30 seconds on Aegis.
Doesn't really care. Has the Satanic. Okay, that's what I wanted to see. Skip the BKB. You've got all the gold you need. Have Satanic. Satanic Axe Crystallis pre-minute 25 is absolute insanity. And I don't think there's a way for Kyrgyzstan to kill this Gyrocopter, Aegis or not.
So, surprisingly, Aegis expires. They didn't push the high ground with it in terms of getting it. We'll see what the next Roche ends up being.
I'm gonna be real. I'm just starting to think of what questions I'm gonna ask Saneko in the winner's interview.
If we get him again.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Like, this is incredible. Escape is playing considerably better than he was in that first series of the day. I think that's a safe argument to say, and he played that very well as well, right? Not to take anything away from it, but he's definitely shining on this gyro, and he's playing it better than yesterday. Speedy's doing a really solid job on the IO, and of course the Batrider. Again, maybe not as flashy as other Batriders we saw normally. Blink, 4-staff, travel boots, all that. But he is the rock of this team, right? He's the frontliner. He's playing a proper tanky, disruptive Batrider.
Yeah. He's being what he needs to be for the team. Survivable, has a lasso, has the blink now. Like, you look at the Void, he's almost getting his net worth doubled. He's the carry.
This is crazy. Oh, man. It's also a full mech and a Holy Locket for the IO. That's going to obviously... Holy Locket is a great item for most of the heroes that give you heal, so it's extra burst of heal. Jumping in.
Yeah, killing off Zodiac. As well as Max. There's no stopping in the moment.
Zodiac really wanted to get a BKB. He was 300 gold away from it. And now we'll have to hopefully get it before the next team fight.
If there is another team fight, just push through them.
They didn't even use Coil for that.
No?
Yeah. I don't know.
Middle tower is under attack.
Mid's getting pushed.
Okay, we got a Glimmer Cape on the Hoodwink, so he's not gonna have the Maelstrom to, kill the creeps as fast as he normally would to cut the wave, but he's trying. He's behind Escape and Risuk trying to get those creep waves out, and we'll force them to just get back for a second as Katie is... What was Katie even doing there? I think they wanted to kill the Slardar and they found Katie in the process. That's what happened. The Slardar showed himself on lane.
Dire's bottom tower.
And they're getting tipped like crazy now. It's no Void, no Chrono for 30 seconds. Just push in. There's no reason to stop.
Katie got the Hyperstone. Okay, he wants to finish
Radiant's middle tower is under
the
attack.
Mjolnir, but this Void just... He doesn't have a BKB. He doesn't have anything. He's got Maelstrom Bomb. Like, what is this?
Yeah, he doesn't really survive in these fights.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Well,
Here's
Escape
gonna
on
go,
the
though.
gyrocopter of Escape, doubling the net worth of the Faceless Void, will claim the first tier 3, and now they're going for the Roshan. It's going to be a 90-second respawn timer, so they'll get it at minute, well, 28:30 if they're going to check it in time, as they have a smoke up. They're trying to do something now. They realize they can't allow to lose the Aegis again.
Seneco's not with him, but he's not their biggest damage dealer, and they popped BKB already. Chrono is not amazing, but they kill off the IO, but now they've got the Lasso. You time walked in, you time walked down to the low ground. Lasso already being used. Sunset taking some damage here. Seneco shows up and gives the vision. So they'll go for Sunset. They'll lose Max. That's 2 years dead on the side of the Radiant. Zodiac. Kate. Time walk onto the low ground. They still want to chase. There's the blink over. Sunset will die. They've got the silence. And they will call GG as Seneco hits him with the BB. Man.
Instant disconnects from Kyrgyzstan.
Victory.
Sunset does seem to enjoy himself. He gives out a little bit of a laugh in the chat. As Uzbekistan, with an upset BCOP to claim the first seed into the Chengdu qualifiers for IESF. What an impressive performance, and really dominating. Played even better versus Kyrgyzstan than they have versus Kazakhstan. Truly impressive, and yeah, they will have the higher slot going into Chengdu, but that's not... If you're a Kyrgyzstan fan, don't be too sad. We know they had some stand-ins, and they still managed to qualify in second place. It's nothing to laugh at.
Yeah, and they, on the side of Uzbekistan, though, they had a perfect game. I mean, that was really insane. We can take a look at these highlights, because it thought it was going to be Kyrgyzstan who had a good amount of kills early, all coming the way of the Hoodwink. But at the end of the day, like, the gold was being made. I'm really wondering how Void has nothing. I'm still wondering.
Radiant's top tower.
I'm gonna try to take a look at the network chart, right? Like player network chart. So in minutes, you never get the game going, BCOP. Like from minute 4 onwards, he's always under the Batrider. And then at minute 8, his own Hoodwink started out farming him. It's incredible. That's not something we often see. And again, he had an ET as a partner on lane, and we saw Max was doing a lot of good job putting the pressure, right-clicking the bat, trying to get the IO further away. Something didn't really connect with Katie here. And yeah, Uzbekistan will be on the winner's side, and on the back of what was a complete domination of the Batrider on the offlane versus the Faceless Void.
Yeah, and it was just a great game overall from Uzbekistan. I think there was a lot of confidence coming in here, and definitely a lot of playful, I hope, trash talk in the alt chats. But Seneco, I wasn't sure what this team was going to do without that, crazy amount of lockdown. But once they had Lasso, they had Homing Missile, they had Dream Coil, they were fine. They got there eventually.
And they were so sustainable. I think that's probably my biggest takeaway, right? I mean, they had a lot more farm than the Radiant side, but they were so sustainable that even when we had the beautiful chain of ultimates, Chrono, Requiem, Split Earth, Bushwhack, the damage was still not sufficient to kill any single hero. Even that attempt onto the Weaver, the Solar Crest kept him alive long enough. Pop time lapse, and that was the end of it. You wasted 4 massive abilities to not even kill a position 5.
Yeah, really insane how big the turnarounds were. And we do have the match summary to show you up on the screen. So let's take a look at that here for you. And 1-1-13 for the Bat Rider, and then 0-5-13 for the IO. Like the supports played well with the Weaver as well. Yeah, I mean, it was great. It was a great off-lane support duo. Perfect.
It was more of an underwhelming performance from some of the players on Kyrgyzstan, right? And it wasn't Sunset, and I'm glad to say that because I backed Sunset up and said it's going to play really well. And it kind of felt at points that the Hoodwink was the thing that was keeping Kyrgyzstan in a 10 to 15 minute mark in the game, because he was doing a lot of good setups with the bushwhacks. We saw some nice sharpshooters, and even in the laning phase, right? The way he used the acorn shot time and time again to bounce it off the trees was great from him. But sadly, like we said, Haiti didn't really get the game going on the Faceless Void, and Alim on the Slardar got the Blink Dagger and then continued to stay on lane, not smoking up to rotate. By the time the Orchid arrived for the Slardar, they were playing from so far behind that it was too late for the Slardar to burst any heroes.
Yeah, so playing from behind is never the greatest thing to do, and find yourself now, well, going to Asia, going to Chengdu, you're fine with it. You didn't win for Kyrgyzstan, you won for Uzbekistan, and I think, it's how the cookie crumbles in these matches that are, yes, somewhat seeding, but also somewhat fun for these two teams. So,
and that is going to be the next step for
good.
them. That is going to be the next step for them, Peacock, right? And it's going to be very important to what you do in Chengdu, not just because I assume Kyrgyzstan wants to replicate some of the success they had last year, bronze medal at the World Esports Championships, but getting quite a good placement in Chengdu itself is quite a bit of money, especially for some of these players that are, I assume, not playing a tier 1 full-time professional Dota. So if you get at a top 3 at Chengdu itself and then replicate that at WEC, that's going to be probably the equivalent of a salary for a couple of years for some of these regions, right? We know SCA, for example, or South America, whenever their teams in orgs-wise make it and get good placements in international lands, the players often talk about how impactful it's going to be for their future career and for the next couple of seasons, because the money keeps them going.
Yeah, and it will ultimately be good for these teams to get to, if you've gotten to the main event in Riyadh at the end of the year, you've already got yourself some money. So hopefully we can see some of these teams succeed when they get to the Asian qualifiers that are in September. So that's going to be it for us for today. There's still 2 more days of Asian qualifiers coming your way as the week continues, or the weekend continues. So we'll see you tomorrow for another broadcast. Hope you have a good night.